This is Kenneth Vance from Rooftop Videos. Now, I've held off for a while. I, like many others, are in travail. I'm sorry, it's happening. A lot of things going wrong for everybody. People are fed up. For the first time in my life, when Trump bombed Iran, I thought for the first actual time, at long last, here it is. Now we're still sitting here. So I'm not worried about that right now. I'm going to give you a theory. You've read this, but I don't think you've ever heard it like this before. I'm going to give you a theory of what we're actually watching happening, but is it the time for it to happen? I'll bring out a few verses in just a little bit. And I'll build the platform first and show you what you already know, maybe not know some of it. We can't keep up with it all anyway. Something big is going down, and I've been trying to figure this out, and Revelation 6 keeps coming to my mind. That's what we're going to see today. I'm not reading the whole chapter, just a few verses. That's it. That's all we need to. Now, there's a teacher out there. I won't give you his name because we have disagreements. He refuses to come into the true calendar, so I don't reference his name. And I'm actually going to go over some things. He just put a video yesterday up over. Not that I needed him. I already knew it myself. But I can't give you his name because I just can't agree with some of the things he does. But I do agree with what he's right on. So that being said, but he is right, as I have said as well, in Ezekiel chapter 7. He says, a disaster is coming, a singular disaster is coming, comma, the end is come, the end is come. Why would Ezekiel say the end? And twice in that chapter he says, the end is come, the end is come. He says that twice. That reminds me of Daniel. The saints shall take and possess the kingdom forever and ever, comma, even forever and ever. When a prophet gives emphasis to something, there has to be something big behind it. Ezekiel does the same thing. The end has come. The end has come. It must be something really big and not just some normal earthquake or tornado or whatever. Something extraordinary, even to the tune of Noah's day. That's what I want to show you today. I think you want to hear this. And I'll just say I don't think you've heard this before. Maybe. You did great. I doubt it, but I want to get right into it. A singular disaster is coming, and later in Ezekiel 7, as he's explaining the story further, disaster shall be upon disaster. So there's going to be some big disaster, whether it's nuclear war or something natural, but it's going to cause more side effects. It's going to cause the domino effect, one disaster after the other. This is why I'm bringing this video out today. Is the New World Order has their plans, and they think they're going to put this nation against this one. They're going to keep on doing the same junk they've been doing for hundreds of years. I think we're at an impasse where the Father's about to say, you may have your plans, New World Order. I have something you didn't expect. I have a different set of plans for the last days. That's what I think is going to happen. So, you've heard me talk about these things before. I will bring them up again. In all of my life, I have never seen so many natural disasters as in just 2025. From January on, it has been nothing but disaster upon disaster upon disaster. Yes, there's always earthquakes and floods and all that, but come on. 2025 since it started, if you remember back, and I do, I've been watching it, it has been chaotic and crazy. That cannot be an accident. But why is the thing I want you to think about. Why, and where am I heading with this? What is it that I'm bringing out that might be the truth? I think you want to hear this, and it might, poof, give you one of those moments. For me, it does. If it is true, it's still theory, but a good one. And there's a lot of people with a lot of good guesses and scenarios. Well, hear mine. Fair? But I pretty much guarantee you haven't heard this one because of all the confusion. But we never get back to this. We've had nothing but natural disasters, one right after the other. It's crazy, and it still has not eased up. And in fact, it's gotten worse. And I was noticing the Texas floods, and it is true. This other guy, he knows it too. I already knew it, but the October 4th, I drew it wrong. October 14th eclipse went down through Texas, and on April 8th made an X in Texas, however that works. Pretty much where that X is pretty close, is it not, in Texas with those Texas floods. Well, I was watching actual news clips. They said within that same week is what they call 1,000-year floods. 4 of them. Chicago, Illinois got it. North Carolina, I didn't know about that, but that's what they said. Now what I did know is the state I live in, New Mexico, I've been there a few times, Ruidoso, New Mexico, went up 20 feet of water in 1 hour. Just like it went up 26 feet in 1 hour in Texas. Now what might all this mean before I get into the theory? There's a lot of flooding this year. Not just the U.S. China's really getting hit. Nations all over is getting hit. And like the tornadoes and all that, it is following along with these X's and these eclipse passes. It is. But I've known this, and this other guy, he brought this up too, so I'm not the only one. We both see it. It is true. Flooding can't cause an earthquake, but it makes it easier. And I don't mean, well, it recedes in a week or so, so therefore it doesn't matter. No. The weight of the water. Imagine your skin right here is, our basic crust of the earth. Well, you set a glass of water on there, you can feel it, can't you? You know how heavy 1 gallon of water is when you have a huge flood in just one area, how many billions of gallons. That's a lot of weight on the crust. And water gets down into the earth, it's not like the sun's going to dry it up all those feet down so quickly, is it? Is the earth being primed for something? That's what I want you to see. All of these floods, and it wasn't just Texas, Arkansas, parts of Kentucky, all sorts of places got massive flooding. And that's been happening all year. And especially in the April 8th eclipse path. Earlier this year they had a swath of superstorms. And it seems to be centered on this New Madrid fault line. Is the earth kind of being muddied and weakened for something we don't see coming? Does Revelation 6 maybe point something out? Aha. But these floods everywhere can, soften it up to make it easier for earthquakes. Is that the singular disaster of Ezekiel 7? Nobody knows. It could be a nuclear whatever. Could be a biological weapon. We don't know yet. I think it's natural phenomenon. willing to be corrected and wait till it happens. But this cannot be coincidence with what's happening all year. More flooding than in any year I've ever seen. It's kind of like Noah's day, except it rains and goes away. That time it just kept on coming. But are we being given a sign with all these floodings that were like in the first end of the world? It's getting ready to happen. Is the earth being softened up? Are we being warned something big is in the mix and getting ready to happen? Is what I want to ask and show you my theory on this. Now, before I get into these few verses, the parts you probably already know, I'm noticing a pattern and stuff like this. It happens all the time, but not like this. Not like this. And I don't know if I find, I'm trying to put it in the description box, just Yellowstone acting up. Yeah, that big one. A lot of the hot spots are acting abnormal. Now they could do things at any time and have tremors and all that, but all of them at once. Now they've been saying in New Madrid, getting a lot of shaking there. But the San Andreas in California is acting strange. They get shakes all the time, but it's different. Up here, Washington, Mount Rainier, the super volcano there. Huge earthquake swarms. Something's going on. And I don't think the government's going to, if they know something's going to happen, I don't think they're going to let us know. They just want us to die. That's it. But Mount St. Helens is acting up, and Mount Spur in Alaska, that they said just months ago is definitely going to go off, still hasn't. They said it could take upwards to a year. But then the Ring of Fire is acting up all the way to Japan. They had like a normal 1,000 or so shakes, mini earthquakes or whatever a year, which is normal for Japan. They've gotten over 1,500 in just a week. And Japan is, a lot of them are panicking over there. Shake, shake, shake. Indonesia, a few days ago, massive volcano that went almost 48,000 feet of ash into the air. And I want you to think about this ash as we go into Revelation chapter 6. That one blew up. Italy, abnormal shaking. This is everywhere. So I've been having this line of thinking. It may not be a singular earthquake over in China. They're still getting hit. It may be what I think is possible, a worldwide earthquake. Not just in one country or two. The whole shebang. Because I think of these verses such as, I will shake the heavens and the earth. Well, the earth, I'm standing on it. You go up into the sky, that's the heavens. Well, think about this. We can take this literally or figuratively. We'll have to see. But if he shakes the heavens as well, here's the earth. Okay? He's shaking the heavens and the earth. The earth is beneath shaking. Well, the heavens is part of that. Is all of it shaking. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Were all these prophets seeing something similar? I'm going to have to say yes. I'll shake the heavens and the earth. Revelation 6 is showing the same thing. Now, I said this is theory, but how come everything is acting up and going a little crazy? All the weather patterns, I guess, were intended to show the people this is it. It's coming. Like we're being softened up for the big one, except it might just very well be the entire planet shakes, based upon what I'm going to show you in just a little bit. But Yellowstone has been really acting up too. Over the east side of Nevada, forget what it's called. I've been seeing videos on this. It's something is happening. It's as if something underneath this whole earth is getting ready to come out. Like the boogeyman coming out of the closet. Is this the singular disaster he's talking about? Are we about to have a worldwide calamity and prophecy happen in a way we didn't expect? That's why anymore I'm just scratching my head, because things are going too slow. Things are happening. There's things like Rising Lion and Midnight Hammer, that is in Jeremiah 49 and 50. Sorry, but that's coming back. It's right there, and I'm not the only. There's another guy who brought that out. He saw it and taught it. I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but he's right on that. Is Blow the Shofar YouTube channel or something like that. So I'm not the only one that sees that either. That's happening. But are we about to have a worldwide calamity? Or is this just a precursor for years down the road? We're going to have to see. But I want you to see this. And because I keep saying how in the world can we put these prophecies in time order? I'm beginning to see that it's pointless to even try, because people are so busy. This guy's the Antichrist. He's the one. No, he's the one. Who cares? That's the least of our worries. What about the big stuff? Revelation 6. I'm going to, right here. The light ain't too good. And right. Okay, here it is. Verse 12 here. I looked when he opened the sixth seal. Oh, wait a second. The sixth seal can't come to the end of great tribulation. Some say that. Possible. Unlikely, though. What if this is Ezekiel's singular disaster? That's what I want to know. Well, the fifth seal is martyrdoms and beheadings. It hasn't happened. I don't know about that. I have asserted the four horsemen has been unloosed since the early 1900s, and it matches. Matthew 24 and the horsemen of the apocalypse, it all matches. It has to be the same thing. People have been beheaded for decades. And one video just the other day, how come Trump ain't stopping this? Was it Ethiopia? Their Bible believers are beheading them right and left. It's genocide over there. It's martyrdom over there. People are being beheaded every day. CNN is not telling you about this. No, they're too busy with Epstein files to keep us distracted. That's been going on. So here's our possibility. The martyrdoms can go right up until he shows up. It's been happening all around the world. When he opened the sixth seal, behold, there was a great earthquake. Not just any earthquake, though. This isn't China got hit with 7.8. This is a great earthquake, but does something that's really weird, if you will. This is not a normal earthquake. Could this be Ezekiel's singular disaster? The sun became black as a sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood. Well, a sackcloth of hair, like hair all matted up. And I'll show you what I think that means. Does it mean the sun is darkened? Or we just can't see it for a little bit because of an earthquake? Because he says a great earthquake happens and the result is the sun is black. what might cause that. Stars of heaven fell from the earth as fig tree drops its late figs when it's shaken by a mighty wind. So people will say, well, that's the end of the Great Tribulation. Who knows what that part means? Let's forget about that, because too many people argue over it, and I don't like to deal with it. I really don't. This is what I want you to see. This is New King James. Then the sky receded, regular says, departed, as a scroll when it is rolled up. Now, we're going to go back to that in just a second. The last part of this verse, it says, which is what I want you to see. And every mountain and island was moved out of its place. Whatever this great earthquake is, if every mountain and island is moved and shaking, that means the whole earth has to be shaken, does it not? Not just over in China or Canada or wherever. Right here in New Mexico, for you in the Carolinas, you over in the European Union, everybody feels it. Is that what it's saying here? Every mountain and island were moved out of its place. It shakes. Is it possible that even some places that there might be some continental realignment to some degree? It's possible. Doesn't say for sure. But this is a great earthquake. It must be so great that it's really never happened before. Unless it happened in Noah's day and we just don't know it. But this is a great earthquake. But here's what I want you to see. Going back. Then the sky, I like the word departed, as a scroll when it is rolled up. There are those who teach the Father is literally just like a scroll rolling up the earth and it's now eternity time. I have to disagree with that. The previous verse, he says the sun became dark as a sackcloth of hair. We know what a sackcloth of hair is, right? And he says departed. Departed literally means as if opening up. A scroll is a roll, and the thing I need you to see about this scroll, that's the part I want you to see here. Maybe the most important part. He didn't say the scroll is rolling up. No, the scroll is rolling out. Unrolling a scroll, not rolling it up. There are those who say he's taking his hand spiritually. He can do it if he wants to. He just rolls up the earth like a scroll, puts it in his pocket. All right, it's all over. No, this is showing it's rolling out. If you have major volcanoes and they go boom, what do you see? The ash clouds, like a sackcloth of hair. And what do? Like a sackcloth of hair, and the sun is darkened as a sackcloth of hair from the ash clouds unrolling like a scroll. So when you go look at the meanings, I think it was the root word, don't quote me. One of those meanings of scroll is the papyrus plant. In the book of Joel, he talks about pillars of smoke, and he literally it's named as a palm tree because the picture of a palm tree and a mushroom cloud is the same thing. Well, a papyrus plant has variations overall, a stem, and it mushrooms out just like a volcanic explosion as well. And papyrus they would take it and unroll, they'd take off the bark, whatever, piece it together, and they would make what they wrote on. What they wrote upon back then. They might have had variations throughout history, but from what I read, it was started back in Egypt, and they would write on papyrus, their paper. The Bible was written on something, wasn't it? Yes or no? Now I got to thinking about this a little bit, that if there's this major earthquake and it causes a bunch of volcanic explosions, that maybe this is like the scroll is opened and now we see the sixth seal opened up. Is that a possibility? Well, I want to go a little bit further and investigate a little bit more. This is the same story, verse 15 now. And the kings of the earth, the great men, the presidents, the scientists, the jerks, the commanders, the idiots, the New World Order, the Illuminati, the have-it-alls, the mighty men, every slave and free man hid themselves in the caves and in the rocks of the mountains, saying, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. Now many think, oh, this is right as he's getting ready to come back, but there's a part of me that thinks this is not the case. Because everything we know about the Great Tribulation is boom, boom. There's going to be nukes. There's going to be all sorts of chaos. There's anarchy. Oh, everything's going to fall apart. Does it make sense that they finally start heading to their bunkers? Right as the king's coming? At the very end? What about all the destruction? That's called the Great Tribulation. They're going to run for it. Are they not? That makes me think. This is happening as the outset of it is starting. A great earthquake kicks it off. Maybe that's Ezekiel's natural or singular disaster. Kind of said that backwards. Now notice verse 17. With all this happening, for the great day of his wrath has come, and who is able to stand? I thought Joel says, who is able to stand? Didn't Joel say that as well? Who is able to abide it? But he says the great day of his wrath has come. Now it's officially here. That's what the way I'm reading it. If it's just started, then how can that be at the end of the Great Tribulation? This has to be before, as it's starting. A major earthquake, though, kicks it off. So that's my theory. Is that what's taking place? Are we being softened up and being readied for a massive, out of nowhere, peace and safety and sudden destruction shall come? Unexpected. And from out of that, is it possible, then the whole world is just, the gloves is off. Who knows how this is going to happen? Okay, we don't know. Will Babylon fall first and then this? Who knows? It doesn't really say. We could guess. We may or may not get it right. I'm tired of trying. Anything can happen. It could be in any order. And he's the only one that knows what that order is what I'm trying to say. So I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just trying to be realistic here. We've been making guesses, and we keep getting it wrong. Like I've been saying, that there's going to be seen right over Jerusalem, September 7th, the total lunar eclipse. That's less than 60 days. March 14th, we had one start on the 13th, but after midnight on the 14th. just like we had 2 eclipses last year. And you can go back to my video. Hawaii is the 50th state and something like that. It's about our destruction. During 1959, when Hawaii was established, the 50th state of the America of the Babylon, not over America. I really need to spend time and look at where those happened, but those big eclipses that year happened on the same dates as 2024. Yep. March 25th, April 8th, and September and October, all of that. And that's 66 years later is 2025 from that year. 66. 66 books. And maybe that's what he means by it. As everything's unrolling as a scroll in the sky, this book, in a way, is unrolling as a scroll departing as the day of his wrath has finally come. That's my theory. But it seems to show here his wrath has come. It started, so they're in their bunkers. Something's probably going to tip them off. And if it does, they're not going to tell you and me about it. They'll be in their bunkers while we're at the mercy of whatever happens. So that's what I wanted to bring up. Simple, but is all these signs around the world forecasting that it's about to happen? Even within a year, that's soon, but maybe not quite so far away. Because this whole year has been weather disaster like crazy. Romans 8, all the world groaneth in travail together unto now, which means in concert with each other, for the manifestation of the sons of Yahweh. All creation is in travail. All the earth, nature, and human society as well. This whole earth is gone nuts. Something has to be on the drawing boards and getting ready to happen at any time. It has to be. That we can't see. A sudden destruction that we don't know the date of. So that's what I think is going on. I think maybe these scientists know a lot more than what they're saying, and they're being hush hush while we go about our daily lives and wake up tomorrow with boom boom happening while they run for it. It's not like they're hiding from the wrath of the Lamb because they're repenting. No, they're hiding from the destruction that the wrath of the Lamb is causing. Right here. Let's read it again. Fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne. They're not really, they know he exists and all that. But they actually can think that they can survive this thing. No, they can't. No, they can't. They can't hide from it. They're going to get theirs. The government's going to get theirs. But this is my theory, so I'm just kind of blurting out today, trying to get my thoughts back together again. Been in travail myself. All hell breaking loose. As always, devil's taking it all, destroying. But we might be right on the edge of the 6th seal. There are those that say, well, no, because it ain't time yet. How do we know? From his point of view, how do we know? Martyrdoms have been going on every day around the world. Well, it hasn't happened here. Well, in a way, there has been martyrdoms, but through the jibs in the arm. Yeah, that's been going on. But now that's not for today, but that's my theory. I ask you to consider it. Maybe we're on the edge of this 6th seal. Maybe it's sooner than what we actually thought. It's a possibility. I said it's theory. But one way or the other, we're going to find out. But all the volcanoes and the earthquake fault lines, and forgot to mention that near Oregon, the underwater volcano, that too. I mean, come on. And they say the Cascadia up through this area here is not acting normal. I bet you they're not really telling us how bad it is. I can't prove it, because if they're hiding it, how can I prove it? I think it's worse than what they're saying, and they're trying to downplay it, keep us in the dark till it all blows up. That's how they are. They only care about themselves. We gotta have continuation of government. No, we gotta have the end of government, not the continuation of the government.